Dear students, in today's lecture, we are going to talk about DNA replication. DNA replication is the duplication or the formation of the new DNA from a parent DNA strand. DNA replication, you can say, it is the formation or duplication of DNA molecule. DNA molecule is duplicated to make the new DNA. This is called as a DNA replication. Replica means the formation or the copy, making a copy of one thing. So replica means a copy. So DNA replication is the formation of or the synthesis of the two strands of the DNA, the two new strands of the DNA from the parent strand. Now the question is, why there is a need? Why there is a need to make new DNA strand, or why there is a need to replicate DNA molecule? So as you all know, in the cell cycle you have seen that in the process of the mitosis or during the cell division, a parent cell during the mitosis or the cell division, a parent cell is divided into the two daughter cells, and in the parent cell, genetic material which is present in the parent cell has to be divided in the two daughter cells equally. So if the parent cell contains the 46 chromosomes, two daughter cells which are formed by this parent cell, they also will have the 46 chromosome. And when this 46 chromosomes will be ensured, this will ensure only when the parent's genetic material will be duplicated. So DNA replication or DNA duplication is necessary just to ensure the equal distribution of the genetic material in the daughter cells. So this is why DNA replication is necessary. DNA replication, it was first observed by the two scientists Matthew Michelson and Franklin in 1950s. They observed that there is a parent DNA strand which is like this. DNA is a helical structure. They observed that when the DNA is divided into the two strands, this is a parent DNA, and when this will be divided, then it will convert it into the two daughter strands, and the two daughter strands contain one parental strand and the other newly synthesized strand. They observed that in the daughter DNA contains one parental strand and one newly synthesized strand. So, by observing this sort of appearance, or by observing this sort of the chemical composition of the DNA molecule after the replication, they observed that DNA replication is semi-conservative. What is meant by semi-conservative replication? DNA replication is semi-conservative. Why? Because the new strands contain one old or the parental strand, like this one, and they contain a new strand, a old strand and a new strand. That is why DNA replication is semi-conservative, because it contains one old strand which is from the parent and one new strand which is a newly synthesized strand. So this is about the brief introduction of the DNA replication, what is DNA replication, and why it is necessary. So coming towards the stages or the phases of the DNA replication. DNA replication basically is an enzymatic process. It is a process. DNA replication basically a process carried out by various enzymes. So basically in the whole process of the DNA, there are the number of enzymes are involved which carry out all the process of the DNA replication. So if we look at the stages or the phases of the DNA replication, so the first stage or the first phase of the DNA replication is initiation. The first phase of the DNA replication is initiation phase. So what happens in case of the initiation phase? In case of the initiation phase, firstly a specific site is recognized by enzyme DNA polymerase, and that site is the site from where the DNA replication has to be started. So first, and that site is called as origin of replication. DNA replication is a process which is a site specific, and DNA replication will always start from a specific site, and the site which contains a specific sequence of the nucleotide. So origin of replication is a site in a DNA molecule from where DNA replication has to be started. So for the DNA replication initiation, there is a specific site containing a specific sequence of nucleotides. Right? So, and in the initiation phase, firstly region of replication or the site of the DNA replication will be recognized by the enzyme called DNA polymerase. Okay, after the origin of replication, after the origin of replication is recognized, there is a formation of replication bubble or replication hole. Suppose original replication might be there, or might be there. So the site can be, original replication can be anywhere in the DNA molecule. So when the original replication is recognized, there is an enzyme. There is an enzyme will come. The enzyme which is called as DNA gyrase or topoisomerase. And what does it do? What does this enzyme do? It converts helical structure of DNA into straight form like this, and as a result of which it forms replication bubble and replication fork. Right. So when there are nucleotides are attached with each other by hydrogen bonding, the nucleotides are present by which the two strands of the DNA are attached. Now at this point the topoisomerase only convert the helical structure of the DNA into the straight form, but it does not break the hydrogen bond between the two nucleotides. Topoisomerase only form the replication bubble, this bubble-like portion in which it converts the helical structure into the straight form, and it forms the replication fork. Replication fork, like the corner of the replication bubble, they are called as the replication fork. So topoisomerase results in the formation of the replication bubble by converting the helical structure of the DNA into the straight form. Okay. Now after the formation of the replication bubble, bond between the hydrogen bond which is present between, like if the nucleotide, the DNA is made up of the nucleotides. If there is adenine, so on the opposite side there would be thymine. If there is adenine, on the opposite side there would be thymine. If there is cytosine, on the opposite side there would be guanine. Adenine, thymine. Cytosine, guanine. Adenine, thymine. Cytosine, guanine, and so on. So the next step is the breakage of the hydrogen bond between these nucleotides. Now the hydrogen bond which is present between these two strands of the DNA is break by an enzyme. This hydrogen bond, between the nucleotides is broken by an enzyme which is called as helicase or DNA helicase. DNA helicase is responsible for the breakage of the bond between the two strands of the DNA. Right? So now the bond between the nucleotide sequences will be broken down and the nucleotides will be exposed, like A, T, C, G, A, T, C, G, etc. So When the helicase break the hydrogen bond between the nucleotides of the two strands, the nucleotides will be exposed, and the two strands, now the two strands of the DNA, these two strands, they will work as the template strands. These two strands will work as the template strands. And what are the template strands? Template strands are those strands on complementary of which new strands are synthesized. Means template strands act as a parent strand. Template strands can also be called as the parent strands, and on the complementary of these strands, new strands of the DNA will be synthesized. What is meant by the complementary strand means if this is one template strand and this is another template strand, so on the opposite side of which of this strand, what sort of the nucleotide sequence would be on the opposite side of this. If here is thymine, then on the opposite side there would be adenine. If there is guanine, on the opposite side of it there would be cytosine. So the new complementary strand would be synthesized on the opposite side of these two strands, and these two strands between which hydrogen bond is broken down, they act as a template strand or the parent strand during the DNA replication. Okay. Here is another point to be noted. After the breakage of the hydrogen bond between these two strands, there is a protein which is attached at the replication fork. This is replication fork. After the breakage of the hydrogen bond, there is a protein which is called as the SSB. What is meant by SSB? Single strand binding protein. This single strand binding protein, it attached to the replication fork just to avoid the reunion of these two strands. After the separation of the two strands, just to make sure that these two strands will not reunite, there is a protein which is called as a SSB, single strand binding protein. This protein will attach at the replication fork, and what this protein will do, or what is the function of this protein, it prevents reunion of separated strands. Right. So now the two strands of the DNA are open, they are separated, and the next phase will be started, which is called as the extension or elongation phase. The next phase of the DNA replication is extension phase or elongation phase. So I am just going to make one side of the separated strand like so. If this is the DNA, and if it is unwind from one side, so one side would be like so and other side would be like so. Here is a replication fork. Okay, and these are the template strands. Right. And here are nitrogenous bases are attached. and so on. You can make the complementary nucleotides and nitrogenous bases over here. So after the separation of the two strands of the DNA, there is a phase which is called as the extension or the elongation phase. And what happens in this case, DNA polymerase 3, there is an enzyme, DNA polymerase 3. It performs a major role in the extension phase. What does it do? It adds nucleotides in the parent or template strand and thus form new strands of DNA. So if this is a 3' in the DNA, you always you know that there is a 3' and there is a 5'. If it is a 3', then on the opposite side there would be a, if there is a 5', there would be a 3'. If there would be a 3', then on the other side there would be a 5'. So DNA polymerase 3, before it adds a new nucleotides in the template strand on the parent strand, it always requires a primer to start the DNA replication. What is primer? Primer is a short strand of ten base pairs Primer basically is a short strand of 10 base pairs or the 10 nucleotides. And what is the primer do in the DNA replication? In the DNA replication there is a RNA primer, and that RNA primer is necessary to recognize the 3 end of the template strand. So before DNA polymerase adds a new nucleotides in the parent strand or the template strand, there is a primer. First, there is the RNA primer which contains a short which is the short strand of the 10 base pairs of the 10 nucleotides. It recognizes the 3 end of the parent strand. RNA primer comes, it attached and recognizes the 3 end of the parent strand. Because why the recognition of the 3 end is necessary by a primer? Because DNA polymerase has a characteristic, and that is DNA polymerase always add nucleotides at 3 end of template strand. This is a characteristic of the DNA polymerase, that it always adds the nucleotides at 3 end of the template strand. So before the adding of the new nucleotide, recognition of the 3 end of the template strand is necessary by a short strand of the nucleotides, which is done by RNA primer. So once the RNA primer is attached at the 3 end, now the DNA polymerase will come. Now the DNA polymerase will come. Now the DNA polymerase will come, and it will DNA polymerase 3 will come and will start adding nucleotides like complementary nucleotides in the opposite of A it would add T, C, A, C, and so on. And a new strand is a continuous strand is formed. So you can see that the DNA polymerase III is responsible for adding the new nucleotides in the template strand, and in this case, at the three end of the template strand, first the three end is recognized by the RNA primer, and then DNA polymerase III add nucleotides or complementary nucleotides. Like in the opposite side of A there would be thymine, and the opposite side of the G there would be cytosine would be attached. So complementary base sequence will be attached by the DNA polymerase III, and a continuous strand will be formed. You can see that this strand is a continuous strand, and it is formed towards this strand is towards the replication form. This continuously formed new strand of the DNA is called as leading strand. What is leading strand? Continuously formed new strand of the DNA is called as leading strand. Right. On the opposite side, if you see that here is a 5' end, and I have told you that DNA polymerase III always attach nucleotides from three end of the template strand, and the new strand will have the opposite, because the new strand have the opposite sequence of the nucleotides, and the new strand will always be opposite from the parent strand. So if it is 3 to 5, then the new strand newly formed strand would be from 5' to 3'. So this is a really important point, and you have to pay attention to it, that the newly synthesized strand will always be formed from the 5' to 3', and the DNA polymerase III always add nucleotides at the 3 end. So if we see the other side of the template strand, then we will see that here is a 5' end, and we have a study that DNA polymerase III will add nucleotides only at the 3' end. So what would happen if there is a 5' end? So in this strand there would be a 3' end on the other side. So in this case DNA polymerase, firstly RNA primer attached on the opposite side of the strand. Like if suppose 3' end is present over here, RNA polymerase will attach RNA primer recognize that 3' end, and then this RNA primer will allow the DNA polymerase. Now it will allow the DNA polymerase III to add complementary nucleotides. Like if it is C, then G. If it is A, then it is on the other it would be T, C, and G. But in this case, strand there would be a formation of a short segments or small sections of the strands. Means RNA primer will attach over here. After the formation of a little portion of the strand, there is another RNA primer will come. It will attach over here. There is another primer RNA primer will come. It will attach over here. So this segment of the strand will be formed after the attachment of another RNA primer. Another segment of the strand will be formed, and this is another segment of the strand will be formed. So this sort of the strand, which is formed in fragments, this strand is called as lagging strand. If the new strand of the DNA is formed in the form of the fragments, means their number of the RNA primers are attached, and after the short period, a new strand, a shortly fragmented new strand is formed. So if the new strand of the DNA is formed in form of the fragment, so such strand is called as lagging strand, and these fragments are called as, these fragments between the strands, these fragments are called as, these fragments are called as Okazaki fragments. Right. So this is about the extension phase of the DNA replication, in which DNA polymerase 3 is responsible for adding the nucleotides, and RNA polymerase is necessary for recognition of the 3' end of the template strand, and a leading strand will be formed, which would be a continuous strand, and a lagging strand would be formed, which would be a fragmented or discontinuous strand of the of newly synthesized DNA. Okay. Now, after all this procedure, there is another enzyme will come, which is called as DNA polymerase 2. After all this procedure, there is another enzyme will come, which is called as DNA polymerase 2. And what this DNA polymerase do? It proofreads the newly synthesized DNA. You can see everything is organized in the cell already, means if there is an error occurred during the formation of the new strands of the DNA, so at the end there is an enzyme which is called as DNA polymerase 2. It proofreads the newly synthesized DNA, that whether there is any error or not. So everything is organized inside the cell. So after the extension phase, the last phase of the DNA replication is termination phase. This is the diagram. You have seen it before, that new strands will be formed into the 5 to 3 direction, and DNA polymerase 3 will recognize the nucleotides in the 3 to 5 direction. So in the termination phase, what will be happen? DNA, there is an enzyme will come, which is responsible for the termination phase, and that enzyme is DNA polymerase 1. DNA polymerase is an enzyme. It is responsible for the termination of the DNA replication, and what will it will do? It will elongate the fragments or Okazaki fragments. It will elongate the Okazaki fragments but do not join them. It will only elongate them. It will elongate the Okazaki fragments but do not join them. Right, here you can see in the lagging strand there are Okazaki fragments. this fragmented portion of the newly synthesized DNA, and the DNA polymerase 1, it will elongate. It will elongate the Okazaki fragments but do not join them. There is another enzyme will come which is called as ligase. Ligase will join the Okazaki fragments. Now the ligase will come polymerase 1 will elongate and ligase enzyme will join the fragments. Ligase will join the fragments. So as the DNA replication will done, one strand will be formed from 5 to 3 direction, other strand will be formed from one strand will be formed towards the replication fork, like this. You can see leading strand will be formed towards the replication fork, while the lagging strand will be formed away from the replication fork. Lagging strand will form away from the replication fork, while the leading strand will be formed towards the replication fork. So at the end of the DNA replication, the fragments or the Okazaki fragments will also be filled up by the enzyme which is called as the ligase, and the lagging strand will also become a continuous strand of the DNA. Now there is another point about the DNA polymerase 1, that RNA primer which was attached in the elongation phase just to recognize the 3' end of the template strand, that RNA primer is also removed by DNA polymerase 1. Right? So this is how the two new strands of the DNA will be formed, and now the DNA polymerase 3 will again contribute in the synthesis of new strands of another DNA. So here in this process of the replication, you have seen that there are the three types of the DNA polymerase: polymerase 1, polymerase 2 and polymerase 3. Polymerase 1 is responsible for the termination, and the polymerase 2 is responsible for the proofreading of the newly synthesized DNA strands, while the polymerase 3 is responsible for adding the nucleotides in the newly synthesized part of the DNA.